I'm Dr. Renee. I've been using THINX period panties for about 4, almost 5 years now. I absolutely love that. First and foremost, because I'm not wasting money and gas going to the store to get pads. And I wasn't really a tampon user. I used them very rarely. So that's my biggest thing. Secondly, the way that pads feel, like you're always reminded it's there because you can feel it. I felt like I had a diaper on. I felt like everyone knew I was on my cycle because they bulged, because I'm a heavy bleeder. That's another good thing that you need to know. The third thing is they're great for the environment. And of course, along with saving money, I'm not ruining any clothes. I'm not ruining underwear. I'm not ruining my clothes because of the leakage, nothing. It's free bleed and it's so amazing. No one would know I'm on my cycle unless I tell them. There's no odor, there's no leakage, and they're wonderful. And if you would like to try them out, $10 off using my link, and there is a money back guarantee if it doesn't work out for you. You can do that as well. But I promise if you try it, you'll fall in love with it. And there's a lot of other options out there. As a matter of fact, THINX even has other options that you could check out. Check out the website, shethinks.com/Renee, RENEE. Bye.
Good morning. Good morning. We are here at the Ask Dr. Renee show. And if you've never watched the show before, the show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. Because let's face it, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the only one we've got. So we might as well go out with a bang, right? So in case you haven't noticed what's going on in the world, and I don't know how you couldn't, but if you've noticed what's going on in the world, you really, whatever it is you want to do, whatever dream, whatever it is, except for travel, whatever it is, please do it now. So my guest today, I believe, is living the life she deserves, and sometimes the life that I want too. But but she is amazing, and we'll tell the story of how we met and why she is so instrumental. Because when I left the last show, I told you guys I'm kind of here because of her. So I will share that with you. And thank you so much, Karen Taylor Bass, my big sister, for being here today.
Hello, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thanks for having me.
No problem. This has been a long time in the making. I think I asked you to be on the show like 4 years ago and you were busy. I think somebody was sick.
Somebody was sick.
Yeah.
Timing wasn't right. And platform, right? You have to have something amazing that you feel to talk about.
Yeah. So I'm so excited to have you here. So first of all, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
That's a really great question because my daughter asked that the other day. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to be a model. I was probably around 12 years old, and I wrote a letter to Miss Eunice Johnson at this.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And back then you would mail letters and you would get a response. And in the letter, I told her how tall I was. And she was like,
well, I don't know.
And basically she was like, thank you for writing me. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Please stay in school and maybe think about something behind the scenes because you need to be this height. But it was so loving. It was so kind. And it was still encouraging, but it was a reality check. Like, you're not really going to be tall. So get another job. So from there, it was a gynecologist. I think all little girls want to be doctors, Dr. Renee.
And did you know that that's what I was going to do? That was a fallback? Yeah.
No.
That's funny.
So from there, that quickly, I didn't want to go to school for so long. So I became the publicist and love it. And now a publicist plus a yoga instructor, meditation coach, i.e. the PR yogi. So full circle. But You know what? Helping people still and talking to people still. So it all comes together.
That's what I tell everyone because everyone's like, you do so much. I was like, it's all the same though.
Yeah.
First of all, my mantra is live life you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
All of my clients are, 90% of them are doctors anyway, but all of my clients are helping people to live the life they deserve. Whether it's through teaching entrepreneurship or, Paul Carrick Brunson's one of my clients, he's the relationship guru. He's definitely trying to help people to live the life they deserve. All my physicians, Dr. Cindy Duke, the twin doctors, everyone is promoting good health and trying to help you to be here as long as you can. So I said, I'm helping people. I said, that's what I do. I said, all of it is helping people.
Amen. Amen.
So first of all, Karen is Jamaican, and so I know that West Indian families are very special. Just like you said, you wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
What did they say when you said what you wanted to be? Because I know my parents, like my father has been like, when are you going to the hospital? He finally stopped saying it about maybe 7 years ago. When are you going to work in the hospital? And I'm just like, Daddy, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do what I'm doing.
Right.
So what did they say?
Oh my God. So, Jamaicans are like hysterical. Love my people to death.
Me too.
I'm happy to be Jamaican, born in Jamaica. My mother thought I said I wanted to work in a pub when I told her I wanted to be a publicist. So she thought I was going to be serving drinks. So that took a little bit of time just to educate them that it wasn't working in a pub. It was, being responsible for media, creating a campaign for people, bringing notoriety. So that was the first thing. And then, my mother always said that I, from birth, marched to a different beat. So she really wasn't shocked that it was something, with entertainment, something with media, something that required communication. Because she said as a kid, I was always bossy. I was always talking too loud. I was always had my own opinion. And so it works, so I guess you are really who you are as a child. It's manifested, but support. I think, for Caribbean, it's really understanding that you don't have to be a doctor, lawyer, and candlestick maker. Engineer. Yeah, to be successful. There are other careers. And especially as the landscape has changed, they're seeing that, you have so much of an imprint you can do doing other things. It doesn't have to be traditional jobs that they know. And actually nowadays, traditional jobs, what are they?
Right. What is that?
Yeah.
The new normal kind of a thing.
Exactly. So yeah, but they love me. I love them, and they're crazy and kooky, and I put them on pause 90% of the time.
And, I talk about how some people don't know how to put them on pause or to turn the volume down on people who are probably not telling you what you need to hear.
Yeah. So, but you have to also, like your motto, right? Live, life, love. Like you have to find stuff out for yourself. No one can tell you it's like being in a relationship. No one can say to you, this person's not right for you. You have got to go through the full cycle to decide, because the more someone tells you something is not right for you, you're going to want to explore. So you've got to go the full circle, and that's okay. Just remember the bruises and the Band-Aids and pick yourself up and keep it moving.
Definitely. What did you major in college?
Communications. I was a communications major and a business minor. So I'm doing what I set out to do, which is, I did. Even when I say gynecologist, what I said I wanted to do, I took media classes. I took journalism classes. I had to know how to write a press release. I had to know how to interview people. I interned, while I was in school. I worked first before I interned at the college newspaper, the college radio station. So I did all of that. I was an on-air personality. So I got a chance to understand behind the scene and in front of the camera. I did my first internship with Spike Lee. Dating myself, I'm 750 years old. So I worked on Do the Right Thing, was my first internship. So you learn by watching, you learn by seeing greatness, and it motivates and inspires you. So what I set out to do, prayerfully and thankfully, I've been doing it. And now I've taken a right turn to really live my passion and what I feel I was born to do, which is yoga.
So I know you had pivoted because, during you had a really rough childbirth and pregnancy, and I knew you pivoted then because you talked about that, and I know you did your podcast around it and stuff. So can you speak to that? Because this pandemic is causing a lot of people to have to do that.
Pivot, reset. So yeah, I had my daughter at 40. So 13 years ago, I'm now 53. And I had a challenging, at the end of the third trimester, I was 8 months in and I had placenta previa. And so I had to be on bed rest. And I had to deliver early, of course, with placenta previa, because you don't want to compromise the child or the mom. And with that being said, I had 2 blood transfusions because I was hemorrhaging as you know now, from Serena Williams to so many other Black women, that is the norm. Not the norm, but it's a pandemic also, or an epidemic that is happening. And we have to be our own advocates. So while I was in the recovery, I said, something doesn't feel right. And the attending nurse said, no, it's okay. You had a C-section because with placenta previa, you can't have natural vaginal birth. And I said, but I feel like I'm bleeding, no, you always bleed, So I said, listen, I am bleeding. So she lifted the sheet and she saw that I was hemorrhaging. So they quickly pivoted and whisked me into back into the emergency room or the operating room, or the delivery room, I should say. And I had to make a decision right there. Did I want a hysterectomy, or did I want them to manually pull out my clots? And I chose the manually, pull them out, because I was too young to. I was only 40. I didn't want to have
right.
And so they did that. Then that's why the 2 blood transfusion, because I lost so much blood. And I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So put that into the mix that I opted before this happened not to have blood transfusion. So then I had to say, no, save my life. So that's a whole lot of things that you're working out while you're trying to stay alive. The funny thing about life is I had like the best prayer circle. And so my prayer circle prayed for my baby because it was going to be a preemie. The head of NICU came in and was like, I want to give you a tour of the NICU. And I was like, well, I don't even understand why you're here, because my child is not going into NICU. She's going into the maternity ward. So, all that to say is Sophia came out. That child went straight to the nursing room, right? The nursing ward. And I was the one that needed those prayers, because I was the one that was on life support and everything. So, be specific in what you pray for. Don't just pray for the child.
I tell people that all the time. You got to be very specific.
Pray for the mom also. Pray for the family. But all that to say, 13 years later, I am here. But it changed me having the transfusion. Going through that, I became depressed. I had postpartum depression. I had anxiety. So yoga. I started on my yoga journey 13 years ago, and I loved it because it was healing me. It was my therapy. I started with Bikram, and then I constantly went to different places to find out different ways. And that was the beginning of my healing process. And I said to myself, if I ever discovered a yoga studio where I was seen as a Black woman, I was seen with my curves and shape and everything, I would sign up today and become a certified yoga teacher. And it literally took me, Dr. Renee, 13 years to find, 12, I did it last year. I found that studio Daya Yoga Studio, where the entrepreneur, the owner, the yogi master saw all of us as Black and brown women and taught us differently. And so it made me want to be able to heal, because she said, we all have different challenges, and she saw us individually. And so now as a certified yoga instructor, I see my students differently. I'm able to see what they're carrying, their trauma, their burden, and help them. And so, when everything you have gone through and you look at the slate and you realize, if I didn't have that pivot, that reset when I had my daughter, after going through, the difficult childbirth, it wouldn't have made me who I am today. So just like bring it in, with the pandemic, it's a time for us to literally tap into who we are and say, am I really doing what I want to do? Is this what I was meant to do? Is this my best? Forget about living your best life, because once you know your best, that does come. But is this the best? Is this my best? Is this how I want to represent myself in the world and my family? And without me going through that that could have became a tragedy, oh my God, it has literally sculpted this woman. I started out, I was married, now I'm divorced. I mean, it's like the day I decided to get a divorce was the first day I took my first yoga class as a student learning to become a teacher. So it also gives you, when you believe in yourself and different things and the journey, it gives you that moxie to take that other step to make sure that the things that are not in alignment with who you are now, you fix it, you know? So I know it's a long story.
No,
going through the park and then up to the amusement and then down the escalator and then back on the elevator. But it's to say that no matter what you've gone through in life, it brings you to a place where if you're honest with yourself, you can literally pivot, but pivot where you show up for you first before anyone else. And that is what living your best life is. It's not perfect, but it's knowing that you showed up for you because you knew that you mattered the most to you.
Definitely. So I have to tell the story. I don't know why we have an echo today. You want to try turn yours down? I turned mine down.
Okay, how's this?
It's me. Let me. Oh, it's still there. I don't know. We're gonna keep going.
Oh, should I go down some more? How's that?
Testing.
This isn't versus, is it? Like it's baby face.
I don't think it's. Yeah. Oh my God, I think it's gone.
Okay.
Praise the Lord. Okay. So I have to tell the story of how we met. So I went to the NABFEM, National Association Black Female Executive Music Entertainment Conference here in Chicago. I had discovered it in the back of a Black Enterprise magazine. I lived in Chicago. I had just graduated med school. And I was like, it's in Chicago. I should go. So I went. And shout outs to Johnny Walker.
Yes, Miss Johnny Walker.
Yes. So I went and I ended up meeting Karen's assistant, Wendy. And I just hung out with Wendy like the whole weekend. And
you guys sure did.
Yeah. And so then Wendy was like, oh, this is Karen. I was like, oh, hi, And I knew that me and Alicia, we were part of the concert promoting group at Michigan State. So we knew that once I had promised Alicia, once I get my practice to where it needs to be, we'll start doing concert promoting because we liked being behind the scenes of the concerts. So I still didn't know a whole lot in that realm, but I knew that that's what I had told my sister we were going to do. And so when I saw that conference was in Chicago, I figured I'll go. So that weekend, I didn't really know who Karen was. Like, I just was like, oh, well, that's not. And I think Wendy said that you guys work with Jill Scott. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's funny that a lot of people had told me I should be a publicist, but I didn't know what one was.
Right.
So I was like,
that's
okay.
like most people.
Right. So I was like, okay, whatever, And so it was like Saturday or Friday night. We went somewhere and we were talking and I ended up telling her that I graduated med school that year because I hadn't told anybody there that I graduated med school because what does medicine have to do with entertainment? Nothing.
A lot, we find out.
Right. So I didn't tell anybody. And I told her and she goes, well, you're Dr. Renee. And I go, huh? Because the funny thing is my sister knew once I graduated, everyone is going to have to call me Dr. Matthews. I don't want to hear anything but Dr. Matthews. And so I said, I worked hard for these letters or whatever, right? So when she said that, I'm like, huh? Dr. Renee? What? I'm like, I've never been that fond of my first name, really. I just wasn't in love with it like that. So it was funny. So we go to everything and I was always with them. And so we would go to introduce ourselves and she would give me this look like, you better say Dr. Renee or else. And I'm like, Dr. Renee. So literally in 2005, that is when I became Dr. Renee. And it's funny that people who I don't know, they know me because they're like, there's only one Dr. Renee. Great story. Sway from Sway in the Morning. He was at a Comic-Con event. One of my clients was there, and my client knew I had been on Sway in the Morning a couple times. He said, I was going to say something to him, but I didn't think he would know who you were. I said, that was a good idea because I don't think so either. So fast forward, we're standing there at Sway in the Morning, and my clients are about to be on, and they tell him the story, and Sway's like, there's only one Dr. Renee. I would, of course, known who she was. How could I forget she's Dr. Renee? And I was like, really? Okay. So I thank Karen for giving me this lovely name. And of course, you see my lovely little logo here. And everything that has come with Dr. Renee is because of Karen. Because I tell you, I think if I was just Dr. Matthews, I'd probably been lost in the sauce.
Well, I mean, thank you for the credit, but absolutely not. You worked so hard on your brand that we talk about all the time.
Yes.
And, the beauty, and I appreciate that now at my age, is being able to, like, when you're working with an artist or a product or a widget, anything, understanding who they are is by looking and observing, feeling, touching, tasting, all those different elements. And you're able to conjure up and say, this is who they are. So the minute I met you and Wendy introduced, and you told me you graduated, you know, my mind automatically went to Dr. Renee, because like you said, you went to school, you have your degree, you're board certified. Everybody should know your name. But yes, Dr. Matthews is too common because it's your last name, but your first name stands out. Like now, Dr. Jen,
Right.
You started this whole thing. How about that?
I am not board certified, everyone. Let me just make sure that
I'm sorry.
we get that out there, because Lord knows we don't want anyone attacking me.
Okay.
But so I am not board certified. Everyone knows I do not practice.
Okay. But
so
you are
that's
still
where
Dr.
it came
Renee.
from.
You do have your medical degree.
Yes, I have my medical degree, exactly. But that's where it came from. And then I remember I sent out my first, it was like a media alert or something. And I remember that Johnny Walker and Karen both gave me critiques on it. And I was by no way offended. But what I was geeked that they opened my email and read it. I was just like, oh my God, they read it. And so I took everything that they said, I took to heart. And honestly, I have just been moving along since. I've even done some press for Karen.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it happens. The
and your ties, you just ran out of soap.
Huh?
Your soap. You just ran out of, what kind of soap was it again?
Gain.
That's right, Gain. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Karen had a Twitter, it was a Twitter party with, again, Gain was her client, and I participated. So I had literally, it was supposed to be a 1-year supply of Gain, but 1 year for one person literally turned into what?
What is it? 3 years?
No, it was more than that, wasn't it?
I'm about to lose power, so you're gonna have to continue. I got to plug up. I'm so sorry. You did warn me.
That's okay.
Okay.
But no, it was I literally just ran out of Gain, everybody, and I'm telling you, I had that Gain. So I lost my job in 2013. So I had the Gain before then. So probably since 2012. So that's 8 years that I never bought laundry detergent because I had that much Gain. When I tell you it was enough for a family of 4 for a year, or family of 6 or 7 for a year, it was a whole lot of Gain. And so I just actually bought laundry detergent right before the pandemic happened. Right before the pandemic happened is the first time. It was more than 6. It was 2012, I think.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's
because
scary.
it was before my job ended 2013, so it was before that.
Oh my Lord!
So
okay.
I literally bought Tide. I was real selective because now I get to pick. So I bought Tide right before this all happened. I was so excited I got to pick some new detergent.
Good. I know you were like, yay.
But it was great though, because like I said, I didn't have to worry about detergent.
That's dope.
But yeah, so Karen was so helpful, and I would call her, be like, okay, Karen, so my clients are going to be in New York. What can we do? And who can I talk to? And she's always been very helpful. And so when I go, we just discovered that she lives right by my family, where I usually end up staying. So therefore, now we get to hang out then and get our little workout on. Yes,
walking.
Walk. So it's just been a great relationship, and I just thank you over and over, because when I tell you, everyone's like, "You're Dr. Renee," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, well, we saw this and we heard this," and I'm like, "Really? Oh, okay." And even Paul said, "Renee, it's catchy. Like, people who have never met you, they know your name." And I was like, "Really?" Okay.
Well, that speaks to your brand, right? And that's what it's all about, is brand integrity. Brand integrity is soul integrity, and it all aligns. So because you are that person, you already set the stage for when other people are meeting you, they've already heard about you. And whether it's, third degree, first degree of separation, it's who we are as people. And that's what brand integrity is. It's the core, the genesis of us being authentic. And you've always represented that. So whether you have a mug with your name or your brand on it, or, a step and repeat, you show up being Dr. Renee. So you are going to be Dr. Renee. And that's the important thing with, everybody who's out there watching and listening. Utilize this time to reset. What is your brand integrity? What is it? Like I impress upon, where do you want to go moving forward? Because as I tell my clients, that my yoga clients, and it's not business as usual when we open back up. it has to be better. You have to want more. You have to do more. You have to be, you have to firstly be a better person to self. You have to be a better advocate for your people. You have to be better to your community. You have to be a better parent, a better friend, a better partner, a better PTA member, whatever it is, a better worker, entrepreneur. So use that time to storyboard what that is. That is how we live our best lives. Like, what does that look like? I know during this pandemic, I've been doing so much yoga work with people because, we're working at home now. So we're sitting. It was more sedentary. So we're by the computer and our shoulders, are compromised, our spine, our neck. So simple breathing techniques of just, inhaling through your nose, but holding it and then exhaling like you blow out a birthday cake, and allowing your body just to release, relate, relax, allowing your central nervous system just to say, wait a minute, this person is relaxing. Okay. What does that look like? So, I do these wind down soulful yoga group parties virtually on Zoom, and it's families, it's sororities, it's organizations, it's schools, and well, except for the wine part. That is just on the classrooms on Google Hangout, but I'm talking about adults. And they come together. And, for Black people, we don't like to do things that are uncomfortable. When you say yoga, it's like hocus pocus, or it's for something that for people who don't look like us. But my soulful yoga is the genesis of who we are. It's from India. It's from Africa. It's from the Caribbean with sprinkles of Western culture. So we are able to breathe. We're able to focus on our heart, our crown, our throat, our solar plexus, all the things that get us anxious. And, how do you breathe through things? And, how do I take years off my life? How do I navigate this pandemic when I'm on high alert, when I'm on my social media, I'm on gadgets. Every time I see a news brief, breaking news, I'm panicking. I'm worried about my future, my pension. Breathe. And anything I can tell your audience is we're going to be okay, because that's the first thing is God is good and we're going to be okay. The second thing is you hold the key. And if you affirm every morning that you're fine, if you affirm that you want to be your best and you ask for that and you have your hands out to receive that, you will. It's nothing that is hocus pocus. It's something that it's all within us. You already have that. But also while you're doing that, be mindful of what you're putting in your mouth, what you're telling yourself, who you're communicating with. Are they advocating for you? Are they, propping you up, or are they bringing you down? Are they downers? Start to look at the landscape of your friends and family and coworkers and see who you can literally back away from. And, doesn't mean cut them off, but maybe not right now. So, these are things that I've learned the past 13 years to help me take my life back. Of course, I'm just like you, evolving. But for what I know for certain is that without yoga, I could tell you I definitely would not be here. And also going through menopause, like seriously? So, just be really good to yourself.
I've told people over and over again, I'm not saying everyone needs to start a business because everyone's not an entrepreneur, but figure out something that you can do so that you are better when you leave.
Yeah, and it could be volunteer work,
Exactly.
It's like you said, you don't have to have, but also it could also just, how about just being good to yourself?
Right. And I even said, if it's calling a relative that you fell out with and saying, look, this is silly, or a friend, just do something. I mean, you see the smog is lifting in Cali, and the rivers in Italy are clearing.
But you can see the alligators. Like, it's so crazy how, I was reading a post in one of my groups that I started, Chocolate Mamas, and somebody put in the post that yes, the pandemic has been horrific, and we were not prepared for it. However, the upside, families are eating together.
Right.
There's family time. Gas is cheap. I filled up my car, $20. I have a Volkswagen, $20. I was like, woohoo. It was before it was 36. So gas is cheap. You are literally saving money. You're not eating out. You are learning how to cook again or doctor up a recipe. It's allowing us to be our best, and it's resetting us to be better people. Check in. We got to be creative on how we have birthday parties, how we celebrate someone's tenure or 13th or anniversary, Zoom parties, Zoom invites, Zoom DJ. We have battles on IG. I mean, the world is your oyster. You're here to create. Yeah. Create.
And I said that I was going to attempt yoga while I've been home. Look, I'm not going anywhere still, so I guess I can still try and start.
Yeah, and allow me, just like sit up tall.
So I have a standing desk, so I'm standing.
Okay, perfect. But for those who are sitting, you can sit tall. And I want you, if it's loving and kind, just gently close your eyes and take your hands and just put it right over, left hand on your heart space, right hand on your stomach. And just inhale here through your nose. We'll soften your shoulders. Hold it for 4 breaths. And exhale through your mouth. Now do that again. This time, feel your body intentionally rise. Inhale through your nose. Stomach is expanding. Hold it here. And this time, exhale through your nose. Open your eyes. You feel the difference when you exhale through your nose and through your mouth, right? Mm-hmm. You feel your body just slowly beginning to just relax. Your shoulders are softening. Your face is softening. These are the things that you can do sitting down or standing up. I mean, even if you just inhale, take your hands, Dr. Renee, inhale up. Soften your shoulders. And just exhale forward. Right there. Nothing drastic. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale back up. And this time, when you drop your arms, a deep exhalation, audible through your mouth.
No, you're right. I definitely feel.
Little things you can do, little things. In my class, I always tell my students, just to, if you're sitting or standing, just, take your hands and just move around. Move around your cells, move around everything. Fascia, like just get the cells, just get circulation. You could do all of that right there. You're cleaning your lymph. You could do all of that. People who have arthritis, just move things around. You could stretch out your arms like this and just side to side, soften. Yeah, bring it up bring your arms up, palms to touch, bring it to prayer. Inhale. Exhale here, forward fold, just a bow here. Inhale back up. And now your exhale, come back a little bit, little back bend. Open your mouth, your throat chakra with the ah. Release your hands and open. Little things. Mm-hmm. You could feel better no matter what.
Right.
And you control breath. As long as you're living, you could do
Amen.
This.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. As long as you're living.
Right. But I do breathing exercises all the time because I just find like, I don't have anxiety. I've never had it, but I was like, but I think if I did, I know that I just relax.
And there's things you could do, right? So it's being mindful. You can, you know what happens when you breathe. So if you know that you find yourself getting worked up or something is triggering you, visualize, right? So you could see a tire and then the tire's popped. Right away the air comes out, or a balloon. So you're built up, you're tensed up, and then you see that, then you just let it go. Shoulders become softened. Your spine, you start to sit tall, like you're being pulled on a string, and you start to see your body just start to feel different. A light comes over you, and you're like, okay, baby steps, baby steps. That's all.
Definitely. But I will tell you, the yoga mat has been sitting on the floor for months.
I don't want to hear that.
We're going to get it together.
So what is it? It's like furniture now?
Basically
like a book, right? You can put your books and your oils and everything on it.
I mean, literally laid out on the floor, ready for me. But I'm going to get it together.
You're insulting us.
But we kind of ran over it. But Karen is the person behind Who is Jill Scott, that lovely campaign. And I don't know about anybody else, but I have always been a huge fan of Jill Scott. And when my very first celebrity interview on camera was with Jill Scott. And that was also the first video I ever edited to upload to my YouTube channel too.
Okay.
Right. So, but I met Jill and I immediately told her that I knew Karen, and she did the best Karen impersonation. That really made me forget that it was Jill Scott. And I just thought we were two girlfriends and we just talked, and it was great. It was a great interview, and I was very relaxed because she had killed it. And this was 13 years ago, because Sophia was just born.
Yeah. Small world. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but good days, good times, and so honored to have been part of that project, and being able to have an imprint and offer it to the world of what really good music is, and soulful music, and things that you think about in your arsenal. You just say, wow, I did that.
I was about to say that.
Right? Wow, that was me,
Right.
And
name some of your other clients that we would know.
Doing this for so long, it's like, right? who hasn't been a client? So of course, Jill, I created the D'Angelo Brown Sugar campaign, Diggable Planets, Herbie Hancock, Diane Reeves, Najee. I've worked with Mariah, Puffy. Oh my God, the list is endless. Corporate clients, Hall of Famer, NBA Hall of Famer Ray Allen, Chris Webber, a host of people. Also great small business owners, I approach PR like I do yoga. It is understanding who the person is in front of me. If it's a product, understanding what the product is and how it will impact people. Whether it's a person or a product, I literally always trying to find an angle that I feel is going to have mass appeal in a great way. And I always socially responsible when it comes to my community. I never want to be attached to anything that at any time will make you think less of who we are as kings and queens. And so whether it's the music, whether it's sports, whether it's working with a nonprofit, my purpose has always been to uplift and enlighten. And that's what I hope I've done so far. And with, the best yet to come. Mm-hmm. The clients are great. I appreciate them and trusting me in what they do, but more importantly, my responsibility is to Black people, to the Black community. And that is what I always look for, is how can I make my race proud? How can I make us better? How can I give us information in real time that we don't have? And if it's music, I was always working with the Black media to see how can they get product first, exclusive, before anyone does. Because I know once my artist became mainstream, it becomes more challenging to, the corporate heads don't really want to, at that time, I'm sure it's different now, give Black media that access. And I've always been, my grandmother always raised me and told me, hey, we come first. So I'm glad that you were able to interview Jill and so many other people who, from Herbie Hancock and so forth, who may not have that opportunity. I make certain that when I'm working them, they understand the Black diaspora of media and outlets. They are amazing also, and they're just as valuable as the New York Times, as the New Yorker, as the Wall Street Journal. So I think that has helped me, be respected, but also maintain relationships with my client because they know that I work for them and I see their magic. And another one that I'm so amazing and proud of is Ray Chu, who is, an amazing musical director. He does the music director for Dancing with the Stars and so many other award programs. But I say that to say is the other day, Ray is doing the original composition for my yoga videos that I'll be uploading on YouTube. And he was just like, I reached out to him at 11:15 and he responded by 11:25 and was like, yeah, sure. Let me go look in the vault. Relationships are everything. And same thing you asked me about, Jill, it's keeping relationships with people and understanding that who they are, the genesis, they are human beings. And if you treat them that way, they will always treat you with respect. It doesn't mean you guys get along all the time.
Exactly.
But respect is earned. And so, yeah, I've been really fortunate.
Yeah, definitely. And you said something that I've lost my train of thought, of course, but that's really cool about your yoga videos. I'm very excited. We'll definitely link to your YouTube channel.
Yes, thank you.
I want everyone to please subscribe.
And also my soulful yoga parties, I want to send you information about that because they're so much fun. The response and that I see the families having and the girlfriends having and couples, it's great. Did I lose you? What happened?
Nope. Okay. I'm right here.
Okay.
So I don't think you're doing feedback. So we're in this stuff. But yeah. So it is. And it's right. You're right. It's all about relationships. And I tell everyone because they're like, well, you know such and such, and you. I was like, they're just people. They're just people.
They're people just like us.
And exactly. And Karen, like me, is a huge New Edition fan. And as many times as I've met them, interviewing Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike I was literally shaking. But
no, but you know what? It's so funny you should say that because I'm older than you. And I remember when New Edition, when I was in high school, came to my roller rink, Roller Castle, that's no longer around in Elmont. And we went to see them perform. And it was Candy Girl and it was this, and it was amazing, right? And so, of course, I've had the pleasure of meeting them throughout the whole entire arc of my career.
Right.
And when that documentary or that miniseries came on BET, my kids now love New Edition because of that. But also, I remember I was in Philly with a client, JJ Smith, the
Green
Fruity, right? And so I was at DAS with Patty Jackson. And she's like, okay, aren't you huge friends of New Edition? I was like, yeah, like I'm working. And it was, what you call it? Biv, Michael, it was Ronnie, and it was one more. It was three of them.
BBD?
Yeah, it was BBD because they were doing a lot of the promo for the documentary. And they were nice, but she already blew me up. So it's like, how do you say that? And I'm in professional settings. So now I feel like I've got to be like, oh my God. So that was it. And then funniest thing, I was thinking about Regina Hall, separate story. And she's like such a comic and the actress, Regina Hall. So I remember I was with another client and we were doing a morning show and they were promoting Girls Trip. And so it was her and I forgot who else. It wasn't Tiffany Haddish, it was another actress. But anyway, I walked in and I was just being jovial and I was like, oh my God, Regina Hall. And she was like, oh my God. And we were just doing that, screaming back and forth. So back to the whole thing. People are people and they get excited when we recognize them and we acknowledge them and they put their time. And just like when you, Dr. Renee, say somebody, you didn't believe that they knew who you were, it's the same excitement as actors and musicians and sports, athletes. So just be who you are. If you are excited to meet them, like be excited.
My sister had to call me out because I would look at people like, I don't know you. Why are you calling me?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
My sister had to call me out because I would look at people and she'd be like, Renee, why are you looking at them like you don't know them? They clearly know you. Don't look like that.
Right.
So I had to fix my face and work on that. But last summer, I had an experience and this young man came up to me and I'm thinking because I was waiting for my friend
I thought he was coming to get me to go, be with my friend. He said, "Are you Dr. Renee?" I said, "Yeah." And he like moved out of the way, and this lady in the distance is like freaking out. And I'm like, "What is going on?"
Oh my
The
God.
woman was like, "I thought that was you. I followed you online." Oh my God, Karen, I stood there like, I go, "Hi, well, what's your name? And it's so nice to meet you." And so it was really nice. I called my mom right after and told her. She said, "That is hilarious." I said, "Mom," but I was standing in Millennium Park in Chicago. There was a whole lot of people around. Everyone was like, "Well, who is this woman?" Like, everyone started looking.
But that is so
I'm like,
dope. Congrats. It's funny you say that because there's so many things we take for granted. And I never forget my friend. He was saying to us that he met someone and they were like, and my photo was in his office. It was a group photo. And the person was like, "Oh, wait a minute. You know her?" And he was like, "Who are we talking about?" And she said, "Her, like her right here." And he was like, "Karen?" And she was like, "Karen Taylor, like, He was like, "Karen?" And he was like, "She ain't Oprah, like, really?" And so Rodney proceeded to call me, and he was like, "Yo, you got somebody here that is a fan. Like, she's acting like you." And so I cracked up. So I say that to say you just don't know the impression that you have on people and how you inspire people. And yes, sometimes it does freak you out because you're behind the scenes and you really feel like no one knows and you're okay in that zone.
right.
We went to Ailey, my group, my Chocolate Mamas, in December at City Center, and there was a long line wrapped around the bathroom, the ladies' room. You know how that is during intermission. And so we walked in, and the lady in the bathroom was like, "Oh my God, there's a private stall right here." So I kind of think, but no, I think she thought I was someone else, but I was like, "Word." Okay. Like, okay. I went into that private stall. So my friend was like, "Yeah, how did you do that?" I was like, "Listen, I think she thinks I'm someone else, but I'm okay with it." And we just kept it moving. So, even that, when somebody misrecognizes you, you're like,
In your favor, exactly.
you're like, okay. As long as they're not asking me for money, I'm good. So, yeah.
Right.
So, but it's the joys of life and living, and you just like take it and say, "I'm so fortunate." Does shit always go your way? Hell no. But are you okay with it? Are you going to roll with the punches? Are you going to use it to pivot? Are you going to use it to learn from it and be a better person? Yeah, I am, and I'm fortunate to be here. Like I said, 40 could have gone the other way. I may be one of those mothers who don't make it off the table, after hemorrhaging. And so I don't take my blessings lightly. And I say, okay, God gave me another opportunity to be here. And if I'm going to use it right, I'm going to have to advocate for myself and for my people. And that is it. Like, wellness, huge. Soul, huge. Authenticity, huge. But understanding that I could say a million times, whatever you're looking for, you already have. Stop looking. Just do now.
Yep. You have everything you need. Everything you need.
And some of us have more than we actually do need.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so just be mindful of that. And acquiring more doesn't bring happiness. And I think that's the misnomer. You feel like if I just get here, well, we all are reaching for something, but the core of who you are is only going to be amplified once you recognize what it is that you want. So if you are a lousy person, you're just going to be a lousy person with more stuff.
Right.
And that's not part of my MO. I don't want to be with those people. I am not those people. And I think this pandemic has made it clear to all of us that in a nanosecond, we could be on a ventilator. We can, be going through something else. Family members, loved ones, people on the front line, and you were spared. And so don't take it for granted, and make sure you take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
Definitely. I just told this story. I was talking to last week, and he's young, and
Try and unplug your headphones and see if that helps you. It's like on your side. Buzzing. That did it. So that did it.
It was me?
It was you. You're fine.
Okay.
So I was
sorry.
talking to a young person, younger than me, who was on the show, Yadira, and I was telling her because I said, so personal life, because she's an entrepreneur. She's co-founder of Verb, which is an amazing agency. And so I was like, so personal life. And she's like, yeah, I'm not so good with that. And I said, I understand. I said, because in the same year, Sherry Riley, who was a past guest, and Karen Taylor Bass, when I was 36, were like, so Renee, you know, I see your business is doing all this great stuff, but I know that you want a personal life. So what are you doing with that? I was like, oh my God, why is she attacking me? I was like, 2 interventions in 1 year is too many.
You're funny. It's all love.
I know.
You know that now.
I do. And I listened. I was like, I am listening to you. I am hearing what you're saying. And I did make changes. So, you know, I told her that and she's like, oh, and I always tell that story. I was like, it was 2 people. Karen was the second one that year that was like, and it was all when I was 36. And then funny that you told me Sheila did the same to you. And Sheila happened to be one of the people that I worked with. Yeah. So I was like, that is too funny. And same thing with Sheila also. The first time I went to an event for Cafe Mocha, I didn't know. I knew who Sheila was because of Twitter, but I didn't know who Sheila was. And so she signed us in and we went in, me and Alicia, and everyone was coming to our table. Dr. Renee, are you okay? Dr. Renee, are you okay? My sister turned to me and said, who are you? She was like, because if one more person comes over here asking, how are you doing? Who are you? I was like, what? She's like, Renee, they're treating you like you're a celebrity. I was like, Alicia, I don't know, but we just gonna go with it and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was too funny. But yes, I appreciated the conversation. And I was telling her it was like an intervention. It was funny. The first one, I was really confused because my friend, we knew each other because of a mutual friend, but he dropped me off for lunch. And I'm like, why isn't he coming too? And then she started this conversation. I go, well, no wonder he didn't come. And then me and you, we were walking and I'm like, what is she talking about?
See? You got what you needed.
Yes. And I appreciate you. And I try to, now I tell all the younger, you know, girls in my life and young women, I tell them, you know, you guys have to do, you just somehow have to do both. And if you know, you got to somehow make it happen. And I'm very good about now, like I make sure I incorporate all my work stuff with my personal stuff too, so that I always can have, you know, if I have to go on a work trip, I do throw in some personal too. So in the last, I don't know how many years, I've spent a lot of time with a lot of different people that I wouldn't have if I just stayed focused on work. So I'm glad that I have extended myself in that way. And my favorite little 4-year-old, he was my favorite 3-year-old. He turned 4 on April 5th. So now my favorite 4-year-old, who is half Jamaican, he's part Jamaican actually too. He, my little cousin, that is my buddy, but he knows me because I spend so much time and mind you, they don't live here, but I spend so much time going and being wherever he is to make sure I don't miss these important things. So I'm glad that I figured that out quickly. But
that's good. Amen to that.
Yeah. So what is that? I mean, I know you have your parties. So what else can we do to support you? Because we want to make sure that we support everything you have going. People are still buying your book on Amazon, right? You have 2 books,
yes,
right?
yes.
So I always mess up the first one. I know Press Reset, is that the name of the second book?
Third. The first one is You Want Caviar But Have Money for Chitlins.
That's when I mess up the name. Say it again.
You Want Caviar But Have Money for Chitlins, a smart do-it-yourself PR guide for those on a budget. That is my best-selling book. My first book. My second one is The Brand New Mommy. That's inspired. It's branding tips for moms. Jill wrote the foreword, Jill Scott. And the third one is 30-Day Reset. And the premise is in 30 days, you can literally reset your life because it takes 30 days to start a habit or a routine that your brain starts to cement and believe in. So definitely to support me, follow me on my various Instagram or social media platforms. And it's basically Karen Taylor Bass
at Karen Taylor Bass. And I'm sure Dr. Renee, you will put out the links, right?
Yep.
And, the best way to support me is to live your best life, as we all do, and navigate through this pandemic. Breathe, take care of yourself. We have so many underlying conditions, and it's up to us to get in front of this, right? And
hopefully come out of this without
come out of it on the other side. So that's the way you support, is by taking care of yourself. You support by filling out your census. Make sure that your community is counted. Let's be better. You support me by voting, whether it's on a state level, a local level, national level. The power is in the voice. And yes, following people or following me on, social media is amazing. However, we need to turn the tide for all of us. And so that is the best way, and the best gift you can not just only give to me, but give to future generations, is by having your voice be heard while you're breathing. So ashe to the breath.
Yes, definitely. I mean, yes, we all want to leave a legacy, but let's do things while we're here.
Yeah.
Really, during this time, we could do all these great things like she mentioned, cooking. We talked about JJ Smith and the smoothies. You want to drink smoothies, whatever. You could try and
your water,
some of these underlying conditions, you could do some work on that, so that when you come out of this, maybe you don't have to take as much hypertension medication, or maybe you don't have to take insulin anymore because your type 2 diabetes is now, darn near gone. So there's all these things you can do. I tell people, you don't have to leave the house to work out. You can work out at home. So while we're sheltered in place, she's in New York and I'm in Chicago. We are stuck at home, so we will make good of the time we're here. We're just gonna do what we have to do here. If you have to walk around your home, if you have to do your yoga, everyone is throwing up videos of different workouts.
Yes.
A lot of the gyms are giving you free workouts. I heard Peloton is offering free stuff.
Everyone, go to my YouTube channel. There's a video there for breathing. Everyone is giving away. Also, it's basic things that you have in your house. I'm just going to grab a book right here. It's a children's book, but nevertheless, you could be sitting down. Use what you have already. You don't have to buy anything. Take the book, use it as a weight, a heavier book, a coffee table book. Use it, relax your shoulder, forward fold. Just come back, relax, turn. You have the tools already. You don't have to spend money to be healthy. It's out there. If you get up early, put on your mask, go for a quick walk in the park, walk around your community, get the blood flowing. Don't just sit down all day. It's easy and I tell my kids, it's easy to be ordinary. Easy. It takes extra to be extraordinary. So don't just be ordinary, be extraordinary. And that is how you look at yourself, what you put in your body, what you say to yourself, what you say to others. Hey, am I perfect? No. Do I have moments when I'm a mess? Yes. That's why there's therapy. There are things that you're not here to be whole. You're here to be a work in progress. And the minute you are whole, you leave us. So continue to work on yourself every day. And the days you don't feel good about yourself, don't do anything. Sit your ass down and just breathe. Literally. Those who are out there professing to have it all together, they do not have it together. I know, because I work in entertainment.
Right.
The person that you are looking at and you are looking up to because you think they have it together, I'm here to tell you, you have it more together. So stop letting other people be your barometer or your benchmark. Be your own. Be your own. Lead by looking at yourself and want to lead you. If you lead, others will follow, basically.
And we've also mentioned on the show before, if you do need to talk to somebody like a therapist, you can find that online as well. They have free, they have telemedicine that takes insurance. There's all sorts, Medicare to Medicaid, all do telemedicine now, will pay for telemedicine as well. So there's no excuse.
Right. There's and
therapy right where you're sitting at home. You don't have to leave the house. So,
and the stigma that we have with mental health is ridiculous.
It is
ridiculous. You know, we are all 3 inhalations from falling apart. Literally. The things that we have to put together and hold together as a race, as women, as men, as fathers, as doctors, as mothers, as nurses, as mail carriers, you know, it's a lot. So get the help that you need, have a support system, talk to people, you know, listen to things that edify you. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't feel encouraged, stop.
right.
And stop, you know, feeding,
Colin.
rushing the feed, and looking at people with fake lives. You know, they say Black Lives Matter, fake lives kill. Like, seriously, stop it. These people who are putting everything together, perfect lighting, perfect this, they're not. They're not. Let yourself be your own benchmark. And that's my commercial.
Yeah.
So just do better. Use your voice. Make sure you vote. Fill out your census. You know, whatever you can do to make
2020census.gov.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for it to come in the mail. It should have already came in the mail anyway, but it's not too late.
No, they've extended it to July 15th, the deadline.
Okay.
Count it. So please count yourself and your family. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is how we make changes, you guys. They need to know we exist in these places, so then they will bring healthcare and
community
centers, all these things.
Money to schools, like everything that we carry on about. You know, we carry on about Popeyes when we're not, you know, casting our vote or casting our voice on a census. Like, carry on about things that are going to make changes. Please.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Karen. This has been very enlightening. I see some people already commented how they felt so much better too. So thank you so much. This was wonderful. And I hope you have a good rest of your sheltering in place.
Yes. Daily, right? Daily.
Right.
I made it without a hot flash, so I'm happy.
You are so
extra shiny though. It's the glow.
Right. That's okay. Keeps us looking youthful, the glow.
But thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you to your audience. And be kind to yourself.
And I will see you guys next time.